Hi friends, this is Carolyn Friedlander and I am back. I thought I would share my top 5 foundation paper piecing tools when you're using Alphabet and Shirts. All right, so coming in, well, let's count back. Let's start with number 5. Number 5 would be a good ironing setup. So I do use a reliable iron with steam. I love using steam when I am foundation paper piecing. I know that can be a controversial opinion, but you want to make sure that you're getting an iron that is not going to leak and you shouldn't have any problems. So a good ironing setup is my number 5, good iron. And then also I always use a wool pressing mat that just helps maintain that heat from the bottom. You get a really good press. So even if you don't have a very nice iron, I find that just having that wool pressing mat upgrade really gets you to where you need to be. So I strongly recommend that. All right, coming in at number 4 is good paper. For me, I like using a recycled office paper. It is very accessible, but also the recycled content, sometimes those papers are just a little bit thinner, and that's helpful because in foundation paper, you're flipping things back and forth, you're looking through the paper, and that's just, I don't know, I think that that's my preference. The other thing with using an office paper is that it's very accessible, easy to find, and I'll link the one paper that I've been using down below. All right, coming in at number 3 is a ruler that is sized to the block that you're working on. So with during this quilt along, we're doing quilt along with Shirts and Alphabet. Our Shirts blocks are this big. Our Alphabet blocks are, well, they're all different sizes. I've been making a bunch of the littlest ones, but I like having a ruler that is the right size for your blocks. So not one that's too big and it's not too small. Generally, I'd say a 4x14 is my go-to, but since both of these projects, the blocks are a little bit smaller, this is what I have been using, which is a 3x9, and it's great. It's as big as the block, but not too big. You're not having to fight with this big thing. So a good ruler that's appropriately sized to the blocks that you're working on is my number 3 recommendation. My number 2 favorite tool is something that you don't have to buy, and that's a bookmark or an index card. I've got this bookmark here and I've used it for years. These are so handy for folding the paper template back at those solid lines. I used to not use one of these, but then once I started, there was no turning back. And then my number 1 favorite tool for foundation paper piecing is a light table. Again, this was something that when I started foundation paper piecing, I didn't think it was critical, but then once I started using it, it became my favorite thing. So I use one, my favorite is this size light table from Daylight. It is their smallest size. And again, this you'll want to size with the blocks that you're piecing. So if you're pretty much most any block I use works with this size. Yeah, if you normally are piecing things a lot bigger, they make other sizes that are bigger. So you'll want to check that out. And one thing that's very important is a translucent cutting mat that goes on top so that when you turn on your light, you can see through it. So you can cut and look through your block at the same time. It just makes everything so easy. I love this combination. If you're looking into getting a light table, make sure that you get one that is dimmable so that you can adjust the brightness. That's one thing I love about this. You can make it brighter, dimmer, because depending on your time of day, depending on where you're set up, lighting conditions are different and can change. And so being able to adjust that to your situation will make it easier on your eyes, make it more helpful for how you're using it. Yeah, so it's super important. Anyway, I hope that this is helpful for you. These have been my 5 favorite tools for foundation paper piecing for Alphabet and Shirts.